After 40 days of exploring the land of Canaan, the 12 spies finally returned to the Israelite camp in the wilderness of Paran. Thousands of Israelites gathered around Moses and Aaron, eagerly waiting to hear their report. Every heart was filled with hope, believing that God was about to lead them into the promised land. The people listened in complete silence. The spies admitted that Canaan was truly a land flowing with milk and honey. They displayed enormous clusters of grapes, ripe figs, and sweet pomegranates gathered from the land. But then, 10 of the spies filled the camp with fear. They spoke of towering giants, powerful armies, and cities protected by massive fortified walls. As their words spread through the crowd, hope quickly turned into fear. Only 2 men refused to give in to fear. Joshua and Caleb stepped forward with courage. They reminded the people that the Lord Himself had promised them victory. They urged everyone to trust God and not be afraid of the people living in the land. If the Lord was with them, no giant, no army, and no fortress could stand against them. Instead of believing God's promise, the people believed the fearful report. Panic spread throughout the camp. Families wept through the night. Children cried in fear, and voices of despair echoed from every tent. Many complained against Moses and Aaron, wishing they had never left Egypt. The angry crowd cried out together, "Why has the Lord brought us here to die? Our wives and children will become victims. Let us choose another leader and return to Egypt." Their fear had grown into open rebellion against the God who had rescued them from slavery. As the rebellion grew louder, Moses and Aaron could bear it no longer. Overwhelmed with grief, they fell face down before the entire assembly of Israel. They knew the people were not only rejecting their leadership, they were rejecting the Lord Himself. Joshua and Caleb were heartbroken. In deep sorrow, they tore their clothes and stood before the people once again. They pleaded, "Do not rebel against the Lord. The land we explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord delights in us, He will surely lead us into that land. Do not be afraid of its people, for the Lord is with us." But instead of listening, the people became even more furious. Their fear turned into anger. One by one, they picked up stones, preparing to kill Joshua and Caleb for speaking the truth. At that very moment, everything changed. The glorious presence of the Lord appeared above the tent of meeting. A brilliant heavenly light filled the entire camp. Every voice fell silent. Every hand dropped. The people stood frozen in fear before the awesome glory of God. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. He declared that this rebellious generation had refused to trust Him despite all the miracles they had witnessed. Because of their unbelief, they would not enter the promised land. Yet Moses prayed earnestly for mercy, asking God to forgive His people. The Lord heard Moses' prayer and forgave them, but His judgment remained. Only Joshua and Caleb, who had remained faithful and trusted God completely, would one day enter the land that God had promised. The rest of the nation would wander in the wilderness for 40 years, until a new generation was ready to trust and obey the Lord. Faith sees God's promises. Fear sees only obstacles. When God calls us to move forward, let us choose faith over fear, trusting that the one who makes the promise is always faithful to fulfill it.